Oh, hello. Come on in, this is the cab. We put that wall in so we can separate the driving part from the living part quite easily. Instead of pulling a curtain across, we can just shut the door. And that's been a good feature. It keeps the heat and the cold in here and separate from the living space. The original bus had, this is the intake for the air conditioning, and it would pump the air conditioning all the way back to cool the entire bus down. We've blanked all that off, and our entire air conditioning comes through just into the cab, which is perfect for us, which means we can run it on low and be extremely cool. The cab wall has given us a great spot to store things. Lots of things on the rear of the door. There are things that we access quite often. It's got umbrellas, CBs, bird book, bits and pieces, Leatherman's, paperwork, all that sort of stuff. Down here is Sal's jumpers. Up here are my jumpers. Behind Sal's seat over there, we've got our tripod. There we have my backpack, which is mostly empty so that we can use it as a quick day pack. And then most of our hiking gear is up in Sal's pack up there. We also keep our Starlink behind it's not there at the moment, so we keep our Starlink hidden in behind there. We have an Android head unit here that has all our mapping system on it. We've connected that up to a push button on the dashboard here so that we can just turn it on without having to start the car. So it starts up there, it's all our mapping on there. We've got our CB radio that's connected up there on the roof. The engine bay is under here. We've put sound deadening mat all on the floor everywhere here, but we've also, that's our cushion for our couch in the back there. So that sits there and quietens down everything as well. We've got a tablet up here that I use specifically for navigation. So the main Android head unit can do navigation, but we use it mainly for listening to music and things like that. Up there is mine. We've got aftermarket, we've got an aftermarket cruise control, because none of these come with cruise control. On the steering wheel there, at a funny angle, is just the infrared controller for the head unit, so I can just change tracks nice and easily. The green was an old quilt that my mum had made for me many years ago, and she just chopped it up just before we left and made it into seat covers. Behind the seat here, behind me, we've got all our rain gear up there. Camera gear sits there, easy accessible. We've got our little low table. Our camp chairs sit behind there, and tucked in there behind, you can't see that, is our 12-volt conversion for our Starlink way down the bottom there. So it just converts the 24 DC to 48 volts to power the Starlink on DC. That way we don't need to have the inefficiencies of the inverter for Starlink. Also got this leftover strip light that we use up there for lighting, but we don't use it that often because we try very much to drive only during the day. We also have our Garmin GPS. That gives GPS and satellite connectivity wherever we are. Mainly use that for hiking, but we've got it there as well. That's about it for the cab. We have Wi-Fi on the bus. We have a simple travel router in there, access point, that's connected to our Starlink, which is running on 12 volts. Also to our NAS, which hides in there, which has all our footage, work information that's always backed up to the cloud as well. Up here we have our remotes for our fans, Stream Deck, which we use for our editing. We have our touchscreen for our Serbo and our Victron setup. You can see all the information that's presented. You can click in each of these and see more information on each of these. We've got water tanks down the bottom, our 50, our 60 and our grey leader. They've all got a Bluetooth tank sensor on it. We've also got temperatures, so the temperature of our Multi-Plus, our outside temperature, our battery compartment temperature, our inside temperature, and our freezer temperature. Our electrical system is probably one of the most in-depth and complete electrical systems I've seen in a vehicle this size. everything in the bus for us is over-engineered. So we're completely off-grid with our solar capabilities. I knew the 240 volt system would have to be done by an electrician, but that left all the battery system, all the solar, all the 24 volt system to be done by me. And we got a quote on it with me supplying the parts to a local person. It was going to be $16,000 for them just to install the parts I already had, just on labor alone. It was literally weeks and weeks of me learning and panicking a little bit, thinking I'd got in over my head a bit too deep on this, but eventually it all came together. 500 amp hours in 24 volt batteries, 1200 watts of solar on the roof, each controlled by their individual controller or Victron. All our power points are 24 volt, unless they're the 240. The 240 volt, I got an electrician in to wire those in for us. Because I built the electrical myself, everything I know in detail of where it goes, what wires run, what goes where. If anything goes wrong or needs addition to, I know exactly how it's done. So on our setup, we originally went a different dining room table / work area setup, but in the end we went back to the more traditional 2 seats, as you can see here, and table in the middle, with a couple of little changes. As Sal mentioned, underneath this seat here is the larder, and I'll quickly just show you the larder. Handles on here, just hinged up. And that's got lots of food that we store. Underneath the larder as well is the access hatch for the bus batteries itself. We'd have to take everything out of the larder to get the batteries, but it's not a big job and not something you do all that often. Under this seat over here, we have our toilet. So to get to our toilet, jump in there, lift it up, and there's our toilet. It's a composting toilet that has a fan that sucks to the outside. Essentially, it just separates number ones from number twos. Doesn't smell, we don't need to find dump points, and allows us to be off-grid for longer. Now, our table setup. As you can see, our table is here. That's where we both can work on that with our laptops. We can also eat on there most of the time. If we need more room, all we have to do is take out this little leg, hinge it over through that hole. Now we've doubled the size of our table. We can use this for playing board games, or when we work and we need a bit more area. If we're entertaining, it also leaves a gap big enough that we can get through without having to fold it up. Packing away, super simple. That quick, and we're back to normal mode. The other thing that we can do is transform this from table mode into couch mode. Once again, super simple. We have some latches under here. This leg simply unscrews. This then goes to the lower level, and then relatch it. Cushion. And we're now in couch mode. Super simple. In terms of bathrooms, we have a toilet, we have a composting toilet on board, but we don't have a shower cubicle. And there are a couple of reasons we didn't go for a shower cubicle. So one was we chose the coaster because of the view through our windows. And putting in a shower cubicle would block more of that. We purchased a shower called an Ever Shower. It's an Australian invention. It's essentially a recirculating shower. It's essentially a 500 by 500 by, I'd say, 25 centimeter box with a shower curtain that gets larger the higher up it goes, and it's just got a recirculating water through the middle of it. I also used a companion hot water system, gas hot water system, it uses just little butane canisters on a bypass that allows water to, just as a little toggle inside the shower, to run as we need it while during the shower. We don't even have to use our drinking water for it. We can fill up a bucket from the creek, heat it up over a fire, pour it into the Ever Shower outside or inside, and have a half-hour long shower on 5 litres of creek water, for example. Without going to a large expense, installing a fixed system inside the bus, you can't really do that in an enclosed shower, whereas with this we can. So it just gives us more flexibility, more storage room overall, more flexibility. We can shower inside, shower outside, shower from creek water, shower from our own tank water, have a cool shower, have a hot shower, have a short shower or a long shower. All those are options. We don't have to be concerned that we're tapping into our water supply, our drinking water supply. Setting it up outside takes 5 minutes. We've got the shower already heated up and ready to step into. Inside it's even less time to set up. Toyota coasters can often take more water than what we've installed, but being a Japanese import, we've got airbags all round, and the compressor system for us takes up the very back of the bus behind the wheel, so we couldn't put water tanks in there. However, in the front of the wheels, the rear wheels, we can put water tanks. On the passenger side, we have 50 litres. On the driver's side, we have 60 litres. They're individually plumbed to a tap under the sink so that we can isolate. We're not drawing from 2 tanks together. We draw from one. When it gets empty, we can draw from the other. We also have a contained grey water, which is only 40 litres. It's a small grey water tank. It's more than adequate for what we've found. So we could have gone out and purchased a pre-made bus, but that bus would have been made for the average person. We wanted a bus that was built for us, for our needs exactly. And that's, I think, what we've achieved here. Not having a bathroom, huge battery bank, no gas, kitchen the way it is, bed the way it is. Everything has been built specifically for us. This is going to be our home. This is our home for the foreseeable future. There is no end date in mind for us. And I built it with all that in mind. And I think anyone, if they put their mind to achieving their dreams, can do it. I'll see you on the road.